The Tri-Stringer is one of the new weapons of Splatoon 3 with lots of tricks and special techniques to use it properly, and especially after the Sizzle Season patch, it is one of the better weapons you can get during a Salmon Run shift, but since it is quite new, not everyone might had the chance to practice or fully master this new weapon type. So in this video I will guide you through 5 strengths and tips on how to have a successful time with the Tri-Stringer. First, let's talk about the obvious, it's painting. Thanks to shooting 3 arrows in front of you with quite large splashes, the Tri-Stringer is a natural painting weapon and is extremely easy to keep your turf covered, making it one of the better tools in your arsenal against bosses like a Flipper Flopper, whose circle you can paint in no time. The painting also comes very handy when the basket area is overrun and you need one of your coworkers to stabilize the match. The Tri-Stringer can repaint the turf and let everyone move freely again. Apart from the basics of painting, the spread shots also make the Tri-Stringer one of the best weapons at the start of a wave to paint the most important walls. As you know, painting walls is crucial to preparing for a Salmon Run shift and can be the difference between winning or losing. And the Tri-Stringer has just the perfect shot angles to cover a large amount of surface on the walls and quickly paint where it is needed. Next, let's mention one of the notorious static bosses of Salmon Run, Stingers. These bosses can be very pesky as they stay on the shore and keep shooting at your team until taken care of, but it isn't always easy to get to them and splat them while staying safe. The Tri-Stringer is an excellent weapon to deal with Stingers, as it is not only one of the longest range weapons you can wield, but it also has a unique mechanic that while jumping you shoot your arrows vertically instead of horizontally, which is still a very undervalued and underused tech I don't see enough players use. When taking care of Stingers, make sure you utilize your jumping shots so that each of your arrows can splat another pot of a Stinger. This way you will save a lot of your ink and will splat Stingers really quickly and from a good range, helping your coworkers a lot. While we're talking about bosses, I should also mention fish sticks. These new salmonid bosses are silent splatters as they aren't very threatening when they first appear, but if they stay on the stage for too long and until the team is overrun, having a fish stick on top of the basket area can be a guaranteed defeat. So it's very common advice to splat them the moment they arrive, but not all weapons are able to do so easily. The Tri-Stringer is a natural counter to fish sticks, and it's a lot easier I think than players think. You don't have to climb the fish stick, nor do you have to charge your shots or anything. You simply have to keep spamming your normal tap shots in range as you're able to reach the Smallfry from the ground and without any timing or aiming, and you will splat them 2 or 3 at a time for a really quick and efficient removal of the whole fish stick. This next tip is the most important and most complex one at the same time, but it is vital in case you want to be efficient with the Tri-Stringer, or any stringer to be fair. As you know, stringers have charge mechanic like chargers or splatlings, and the longer you charge them, the more damage they do, but their range also increases while their arrow spread decreases. What a lot of coworkers don't know on the other hand is that the increase of charge levels isn't linear in terms of efficiency, and if you want to do the most damage to salmonids, always waiting for the maximum charge is a pretty bad idea. After the Sizzle Season patch, a Tri-Stringer deals 100 damage per arrow on the first level of its charge, so when the charge circle is full for the first time, versus 150 damage when it is fully charged, or just 40 damage per arrow on tap shots. Since the damage increase isn't in line with the time required to charge, Stringers have an optimal spot that you should be using to be the most destructive as possible, and it is when the charge level reaches its first circle, so level 1. So when you're trying to split a boss quickly that isn't a steelhead, or you're splitting lesser salmonids, you want to hold your charge only until the first circle and then fire, and keep this rhythm as you will be dealing 400 damage per second instead of 343 if you were to wait for full charges, which if you are unfamiliar with DPS numbers is a very big difference. This level 1 charge is also very important as your arrows all deal 100 damage, which is exactly the amount of health a chum has, making it a powerful tool to filter lesser hordes. So practice partial charging as much as possible and you will see a big difference in your gameplay and the overall performance with the Tri-Stringer. Finally, as my last tip, let's talk about dealing with those pesky annoying little Smallfry while you're being overrun. These guys can be difficult to deal with lots of weapons because they are small targets and are also numerous at the same time, and it can take too much time to splat them individually, or you might simply miss them. For this, weapons like blasters or sloshers are great against Smallfry as their area attacks can deal with a whole horde without any problem, And fortunately, using a special mechanic of the tri-stringer, we can also learn to handle them. Stringers have a special mechanic that if you charge your weapon at least one circle, then shoot at the ground instead of an enemy, it will spawn mini bombs at the end of your arrows that will explode. These bombs aren't super powerful, but they are just enough for us to shoot down at our feet, and if we are surrounded by Smallfry, then the explosion and the damage will be enough to blow them up just like if we were using a blaster. It's a very good trick to use during Griller Wave or any situation where you might find yourself in a pickle from a horde of these little devils. But those are my 5 tips on how to enjoy and be more efficient with the tri-stringer. Hope this tutorial will help you and also make you enjoy the tri-stringer more, as I think, along with chargers, it's a relatively unpopular weapon, while I think they can be so much fun, so I'm hoping this guide will help you all. If you have any questions, you know the drill, make sure to ask in the comments so we can help. But if you have any further tips, also don't hesitate to share them with everyone else here. For more Salmon Run content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. But that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you the next time.